It's what we've been all waiting for. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Stephen Michael Fulop, the 45th Mayor of the City of Jersey City.
Reverend Clergy, Senator Menendez, Governor Christie, former governors, members of the legislature, County Executive DeGise, freeholders, members of the judiciary, Mayor Healy, mayors, council people, the labor leaders who are here today, most importantly, my mom, my dad, and my family sitting right here in the front. And finally, to all of you who came here today and call this great city home, welcome and thank you for coming. As Jersey City touches Lady Liberty, Jersey City has been, in many ways, been a symbol of America as a whole. It's about the historic struggles of immigrants arriving from foreign shores, the task of forging a single people, one single beloved community from the rich diversity of world faiths, languages, and races. You see, Jersey City was destined to be that place where families landed to begin life anew. Jersey City was destined also to be that place where people sacrificed not their faith or traditions, but raised their children in ancient practices while offering them the American dream. Jersey City was also destined to be that place where, despite not sharing a common historical faith, history, language, or culture, we've been united in the single belief of the gift which are freedom and the hope of America as a whole. Jersey City was destined to be that place in our history, and so it shall be again today. From this day forward, my administration forged with the value ideas of Jersey City not only as a place of hope, but also a place of opportunity, where government is not an end to its own selfish needs, but serves the people for whom it was purposed. Service is a clarion call for my family. From a family of Holocaust survivors that immigrated here for an opportunity to provide a better life for their children, like many of you, is born my sentiment that whether it is service in the Marine Corps, or service on the City Council, or those servants, public teachers, employees here today, service has always been understood as the price for a life well lived. And as my fellow Marines know, the credo of the United States Marine Corps, Semper Fidelis, calls upon us to be faithful to this nation and the service that is required. See, for me, indeed, service was the partial payment for the cost of citizenship. It was a principled way for me to recognize the hard work of my parents, their sweat equity, that could only be fulfilled in this nation, in this state, because as Governor Christie and other governors know, America, this state, and Jersey City rewards persistence, resolve, and hard work. And whether it was my grandparents, Senator Menendez's parents coming from Cuba, Governor Burns' parents coming from Ireland, all of our families were blessed with the opportunity to know and believe in the promise of America. And Jersey City has always been home to those seeking opportunity for this new American life. If you think about it, ever since Major Light Horse Harry Lee attacked the British during the Revolutionary War here in Jersey City in 1779, Jersey City has played a critical role as a gateway to opportunity for the entire nation. If you think about the 60,000 former courageous slaves who reached Jersey City on those treacherous underground railroads in the 19th century, or if you think about the immigrants who sought the golden door of the American dream in the early 20th centuries, or even if you think about today, the Latino, Arab, and Asian Pacific families who have recently revived our old neighborhoods, Jersey City has always been a gateway to America. And as Alexander Hamilton so boldly exclaimed, and I quote, "On the west bank of the Hudson River, a great city shall rise." And so, in many ways, Jersey City is a beacon of things to come in America as a whole. It's a community which harbors great challenges, great hopes, and aspirations of America. However, Jersey City's history, like many other cities, has also struggled with forging one single community. Our history here, if you think about it, witnessed the buildup of great manufacturing enterprises and then their eventual collapse, We saw the flight of the middle class out of the city. We've seen the urban decline and the rise in crime. Then the rebuilding of our coastline with gleaming new beautiful buildings. We've seen the disparity of income between that Gold Coast and those older forgotten neighborhoods. We've seen the dysfunction of a political system which promised too much to too many while delivering too little to too few. And then today, most tragically, and indeed shamefully, if you think about today, the failure to properly educate our children. Arguably, had we educated our children to the fullest measure of their gifts, many of our problems would not have been so unwieldy. But we didn't. Education, a basic promise of that American dream I mentioned earlier, was slowly sacrificed on the altar of political compromise and failing standards. We, as a community, must do right by our children. We must demonstrate to the state and nation that here in Jersey City, education and training is going to be our most precious legacy. Our schools are the place where the transmission of knowledge, the hope for a better life, the promise of that American dream I mentioned is either fulfilled or it lapses and then it dies. For education and workforce training, the seeking of a job and the prospect of work must be a cornerstone for every single Jersey City resident. See, Jersey City must not only improve the education of our children, but we must also align the training of skills to the creation of those jobs. While we continue here to attract investment in our city, we have a responsibility and actually a duty here to ensure that the capital investment that's coming into the city is matched with an investment in training. Now, as my friends here from the carpenters, the operating engineers, and 32 BJ know, we have to ensure that workers receive quality training for real work opportunities. It is essential. Because today, in Jersey City, the lack of alignment between education and training and job opportunities is a challenge we must overcome. And working with labor and business, houses of worship, nonprofits, Jersey City will link training to jobs for the benefit of the families. Here in Jersey City, the percentage of unemployed young is tragically high, particularly among young men of color. We must make every single effort to find a path of training toward employment. And if gang violence, addiction, and prison have become the all-too-common end for our young, then we have to make every effort to reclaim their youthful promise toward a healthy, productive, and law-abiding end. And if that young person is suffering from addiction, served jail or prison time, languished in homelessness, it is not our option to discard them. Actually, our obligation only intensifies to reclaim that lost young life. As it was instilled in me in the United States Marine Corps, leave nobody behind. Jersey City, and indeed America, cannot lapse into the world of have versus have-nots, and it is my commitment to change this tide here in Jersey City. See, as the son of immigrant parents, there is nothing more important to me than the idea of education and training. My parents, sitting here in the front row, left the dysfunction of communism to search for opportunity here, to start a business here, to work hard here, and to give back here. See, my grandfather, many people don't know, worked for 30 years in a plastic manufacturing company on West Side Avenue so that he could ensure that I would have a better opportunity than he did. Good schools, sound job training will strengthen our communities and neighborhoods. Education, job training, and a good job will bolster our families, our neighborhoods, and our cities. As the Jersey City community is built, it's built with our differences as well as our similarities as one of the most ethnically and racially diverse cities in the world. We understand and we are committed here going forward to the creation of what Dr. King called the beloved community. Whether it's the office parks and condominiums here in downtown, or the artists in Bergen Lafayette, or the family and houses and apartment buildings in the Heights, we rise or fall as a single community. The success of our downtown needs to be linked to job opportunities for the graduates of Snyder or Dickinson or all of our high schools. We must be creating pathways to link the jobs of tomorrow with the education of today. Thus, after education and workforce training, a second priority is increased private capital investment to enhance the quality and economic prosperity of every single community here. You see, the aspirations of those families who came to Jersey City were not simply to flee the horrors of past homelands, but it was the desire to move toward a place of economic promise, a better life, and the hope of an even better future for their children. To help families achieve those worthy ends, we need even greater private capital investment in a government that works in an honest and efficient manner. You see, we cannot subscribe to the false choice between the prosperity of downtown and the potential of our older neighborhoods. No, Jersey City has engaged in that false choice for too long. Indeed, we are and must be one city, one community, one congregation of believers in the aspirations of one future. A great city, that's what we can become. A great city requires commercial enterprise, a trained labor workforce, quality schools, and a beloved community throughout Jersey City. See, our local history demonstrates that when we work together as a community, as a shared city, whatever the challenges in front of us, we are at our best. However, when we engage in idle, self-destructive bickering, instead of building a sound economic and educational future, we lose precious time and the promise of opportunity for our children. We must recognize that investment in our city, new construction of offices and condominiums, city parks, it's not only essential, but it is good. The great cities of this nation today don't demonize business, but their mayors pursue it, and that is my second commitment to you to do aggressively. In addition to improving education and job training, while encouraging increased investment in our city, my commitment is to lead an ethical and competent city government. Recognizing the rich and colorful legacy of many of Jersey City's past mayors, I offer this one promise. We will be both honest and competent. This I can assure you. New York City Mayor LaGuardia, there is no Democratic or Republican way of cleaning streets. Thus, we must be less political and more pragmatic to run a city here that works, where streets are safe, neighborhoods are clean, properties are maintained, and property taxes are stable. In a word, we must be efficient. And obligations, I've set the bar high for myself, our administration, and this one single beloved community. We must ask more of ourselves, for it is what we now do in this time which will determine the course of this great city for our children. Now, when future generations reflect upon this time, will they understand us to be a city who set aside our petty differences to build a great city on a hill, or did we allow our own selfish natures to destroy what we've been asked to do? When Benjamin Franklin appropriated the phrase, and I quote, "God helps those who help themselves," in his 1736 almanac, he was suggesting that we as a people are blessed with the amazing capacity to influence our own fate by the work we undertake, only if we are willing to forego our own interests. Now, we must rededicate ourselves to the hope and opportunity which is Jersey City. Yet I said earlier, this as mayor, I cannot achieve this by myself, because we collectively must be willing to work for our future. I share with you a story from the Talmud regarding Honi the righteous. One day, Honi the righteous was walking on the road and saw a man planting a carrot tree. Honi asked the man, "How long will it take for this tree to bear fruit?" The man replied, 70 years. Honi then asked the man, "And do you think you will live another 70 years and eat the fruit of this tree?" The man answered, "Perhaps not. However, when I was born into this world, I found many carrot trees planted by my father and grandfather. Just as they planted trees for me, I have planted trees for my children and grandchildren, so they will be able to eat the fruit of these trees. And so the same must be true for us." Here today we stand now in front of this great city hall, which houses all of our aspirations of a community. We must pledge to do our best, to evoke our best, to serve our community, serve our elderly, and serve our future and serve our children. And yes, we will have policy disagreements, which is essential in any democracy. But let there never be a discord over this simple truth. In the service of one another, we build community, our one single beloved community. And so I ask you to work together today, whether you were part of my campaign or another campaign, whether you lived in Jersey City your entire life or less than a year, to work for the future of Jersey City, making this city the most prominent city in the country. And if you today pledge your goodwill, your faith and hope to the powerful vision of a strong Jersey City that educates her precious young, bolsters valuable investment, and frankly gets the job done, this administration will serve to deliver upon those commitments with tenacity, with diligence, and with strength of community. Thank you all for coming today. God bless you all.